Hey people, welcome back. This is, as promised, going to be the Divine Knight video. I am going to try to keep things as concise as possible, so we'll just jump right in. Okay, so first off, the Divine Knight is an active-based class. Overall, it is in a similar vein to Bubo, however, they have different niches that they fill. So trying to directly compare the two is not as helpful. Bubo has pros and cons. The Divine Knight has pros and cons. Overall, Divine Knight gets more rare drop farming potential. Orb of Remembrance, which I'll be having a video come out soon. This skill is very strong. It's much stronger than regular drop rate. It acts as if it's multiplicative drop rate, sort of. It's a little bit different than that, and again, I'll go over it soon in that next video because if I were to try to explain it now, it would take well over 30-40 minutes. So, okay, the active XP, however, also is an is a separate multiplicative source. If I at first thought this was additive to all the other active XP, nope, this is a separate multiplier. So this class can actually level on par, if not faster than Bubo. Um, it's hard to say which is better, as I haven't done as much testing on it. My gut instinct tells me that the Divine Knight actually beats the Bubo's XP rates in a vacuum, so not 100% sure about that. We'll see as time goes on. The other pros is as you are active on a warrior, you actually get higher build rate than if you were active on Bubo, about by 2x, a little bit over 2x, depends on factors, but it's very strong, getting the additional build rate. So uh, there's a couple other somewhat niche pros. This character will farm certain maps a little bit better than Bubo. Well, as comparable as Bubo. Granted, it's really hard to compete with Raised Dead, but yeah. Cons, less overall kills per hour, less money per hour as well, because a large majority of money comes from crystal mobs, and Bubo spawns far more of them. You also get less main drops for the most part. It's pretty close, just because of the multiplicative DR thing. Um, but it is I would say less mob drops per hour. And then the big loss is no cranium cooking. So you're going to be strapped on liquid if you're not hot swapping to Bubo to make sure you get cranium cookings in. Um, in general, I would say to be 100% optimal, you would want to be swapping between the two. You want to be making sure you get enough cranium cookings to level your bubbles as you please. However, active Divine Knight is very strong, and its upsides can't be understated. So, okay. So first off, we'll go into the tab 4 build. I'm not going to be going too in depth of the other tabs. I will briefly um, go over them now, and then you can pause the video and see. Basically, just focus on damage stuff. So tab 2, tab 3, and star talents. Big star talent to remember is because this is an active class, make sure you level crystals for days and you maximize crystal chance on your character. Other than that, make sure you got Hemo on, and basically, again, just focus on the things that help you active. The class XP is kind of nice to have just because it's multiplied by the orb talent. So there you go. All right, tab 4. So the Divine Knight is the gaming skills elite, so it has talents focused towards gaming. However, I will say, gaming is a very, in my opinion, parasitic um, uh, skill in that most of the gaming bonuses just help gaming. Gaming doesn't have very much effect on the rest of Eidolon at the moment. So currently, I would say you don't need to divert too many skill points into the gaming talents. If you are going to, or if you want more gaming progress, this skill is insane, and I'm actually going to max it as well. Um, it's just a huge gaming multi, and all gaming multis are great. So As far as the gaming XP is concerned, I personally don't care too much about it, but if you're trying to go all in on gaming, go for it. And for the Undying Passion, I'm going to put like 50 points into it because the chance scales pretty poorly after that. You can, again, do as you wish, but that is what I recommend. Also, Symbols of Beyond is non-negotiable. Max that thing. I need to go get a better book. Um, and the last talent is on the bottom bar that I'm going to start with is King of the Remembered. This is an auxiliary talent that helps your prints. I would recommend maxing it as much as you can because 13% prints is 13% prints. I have an extremely low amount of orb kills as well. I haven't actually been activating this character last couple days. So, um, yeah, I would highly recommend that. Next off, Knightly Discipline. I think this skill is very strong. Go ahead and max it. Um, the Mega Mongo Ring, it is good. Don't get me wrong. I don't think you need to prioritize as many points into it, however, so I'm going to save that for last and put excess points into it. Um, Divine Intervention, like a lot of your kills are going to be coming from imbued shockwaves, so Mega Mongering is not as important. You want it to be large enough, depending on the map that you are on, so that it does a good amount of work, but not wasting too many points into it. Divine Intervention, you only need one talent point into it to get the buff of active so that you're respawning all the mobs. Any of further points just gives you crit damage. So if you are low on damage, put some points into it. I, however, will just be putting 1 point into it. Orb of the Remembrance, or Orb of Remembrance. This is by far the most interesting talent on Divine Knight. And I also highly recommend using a 20 book checkout to max this as soon as possible. This is by far the strongest skill. So go ahead and max that. Imbued shockwaves, again, this is where a large majority of your kills are going to be coming from as far as efficiency is concerned. So this and Knightly Discipline. So I recommend booking this with a high priority and maxing it as much as you can. It does scale pretty poorly after like about 150, the percentage wise. However, I still think the gains are too good. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some points into Mega Mongo rank right now. For the weapon power from gaming, it's decent, but it's a relatively small source of damage because weapon power just is relatively small. If you need damage, pump it. If otherwise, don't waste the points on it. Family Guy. The Family Guy is a little bit weird with Divine Knight. None of the family talents on this skill. So, for those who don't know, Family Guy affects the character that you are active on. So, Family Guy does not pump the bonuses of other classes or helps the other classes. It helps who you are active on. So, it would help my strength, my total HP, and my refinery speed. The refinery speed is the interesting one. If you need more refinery speed and you don't have a lot of sources of it other places, pumping the Family Guy honestly isn't terrible. However, refinery speed is additive usually to other sources of refinery speed, and it is therefore not all that recommended. So I'm actually going to put like 1 point into this and call it a day. I put 1 point into it because that is the requirement to get the plus 11 from Symbols of Beyond. So 1 point is effectively 12 points. So if you see me put 1 point into it, that's just basically 5% for free or 4.3% for free. The strength and basically the base stats are good if you need damage. I would recommend them. And charts goals I really don't recommend because it is additive kill per kill, and yeah, it's not that strong. So I'm gonna put some points into here and probably pump up the rest into Mega Bongo Ring. Yep. Oh, I should have put 1 point into there, and probably 1 point into there for good measure. But that is what I would do as far as Tap 4 is concerned. You're going to be short on points. I'm short on points. The Divine Knight levels fairly quickly. I'm going to show that at the end of the video. So you will get points over time. Don't worry about it. And with Alchemy being very cheap now through the Atom Collider, you can spend atoms to get more points. So let's go ahead and take this up to 200. And boom, 37 more points. Highly recommend if you are low on talent points to do that. You're going to have to get the Original cost up to 200, which will take a while. It is mostly for end gamers, but that is something to focus on if you are low on talent points. So, okay, that is the talent build out of the way. As far as talents on the bar is concerned, my recommendation is because this one and this one actually don't go onto the bar. They can take care about having these. You need to have these leveled. So I like Daggerang first, Sonic Boom, or whatever that thing is called. Uh, then Knightly Discipline, um, the Orb of Remembrance, the Hand, and then the Strength buff from tab 2. As far as Whirl and Power Strike go, you could use Whirl. You could have Whirl in tab or in first position and have Strength buff on tab 2. Uh, I personally am just trying out different things to see which one's best. I by no means think this is by 100% optimal build. However, the Divine Knight respawn is not instantaneous, so there's downtime between using all your skills. So I don't think you're going to lose much efficiency, even if you don't copy this build exactly. I just don't think there's too much to be gained from the talent bar. This is just what I'm using. As far as star signs are concerned and building the character in general, I recommend maximizing drop rate as much as possible. It is too good to be understated. So I'm using the drop rate star sign. Uh, the 15% class XP while fighting actively. This is a multiplier, but separate from the orb multiplier. Very strong. I would recommend it. And then I'm using damage because I'm going to be using HP increasing prayers. That is what I'm using currently. So as far as prayers go, since we're talking about them, away. No, I will do that later. This is the prayers I'm using: Sampler, Zerg Rush, blah blah blah. The important ones being Balance of Pain gives you more mob drops if you're farming for mob drops specifically. This is actually pretty good because of, again, the multiplicative DR, and multi-kill work very well in tandem. Unending Energy as well because I'm active on this character. I am going to be using that. If you are swapping from Bubo to Divine Knight, remember to take off your Unending Energy from the other ones. Uh, Midas Minded, 100%, 118% drop rate. That then is multiplied by the Orb of Remembrance. I highly recommend using this and maxing it. And then I'm using Jawbreaker because I have excess damage, and the money multiplier is nice. The other prayers in here are just kind of preference. You don't need to use them if you don't want to. And then chips. Let's go away. As far as chip build is concerned, I recommend the basically same exact chip setup as a Bubonic Conjurer used, if you're using Bubonic Spear. Bubonic Conjurer with a spear, that is. And these two characters. Choco Chip is just way too important for active play. Double card doublers on Crystal Drop Chance. I'll go to the card set in a second. And then the trifecta, the Holy Trinity of uh, doubling star sign, doubling trophy, doubling keychain. If you have a Steam pendant, you can use this trophy doubler or the pendant doubler, and I will hate you. I do not have a Steam pendant. The drop rate is worth it though. I'm instead using a basic attack speed chip. It is a minor buff, but none of the other chips in here do very much. So if you have Steam Pendant, use the Pendant Doubler, and you can leave a message, and I will be angry at your existence for having that. And that's basically the same thing as Bubo anyway, so nothing too important to go through there. Now that we're talking about cards, though, I recommend doubling both uh, crystal cards and then just maximizing all the drop rate cards you can. And card set, damage, drop shine, experience. I mean, we are multiplying drop chance and experience. It's the best card set to use, in my opinion. As far as the big bubbles are concerned, I am using construction bubble just because I on this character I'm not actually focusing on farming giant mobs. What I'm going to be doing is at the beginning of the week swapping to Bubo, farming up as many giant mobs as possible, and then farming regularly on the Divine Knight. Therefore, I'm not caring too much about using Big Game Hunter. Uh, if you're not going to do that, I would recommend using Big Game Hunter at least at the start of the week, and then swapping off of it later. As far as the other star signs or the big bubbles are concerned, Big P is just very strong. If you have hurry up on any of your characters, it will boost your money pretty significantly. And then depending on what character or what god you're running on that character, it is marginally helpful as well. And then I'm just using construction bubble. Um, you could use hammer. It's up to your preference. Um, and that would be basically the only ones I recommend. Pious at Heart won't help you because Tranky doesn't work active. Um, and if you're going to sit on the altar, then you should use Pious at Heart with a different thing. And Call Me Pope, I just feel has fallen behind. So those would be the ones I recommend. You could also use the Mr. Massacre if you're specifically going for mob drops. But I'm not too worried about it personally. Anyway, I think that is basically it. So we are going to do a quick demonstration of the character. I'm currently trying to re-gear him. I need to. I made tools that I can't even equip yet, so I've got some skilling to do. As far as foods are concerned, I don't think you don't need to be move speed capped as much. I think it's nice, but I don't think you need to worry about it too much. I'm using an XP push just because I think leveling is fast enough on this character that the additional XP is helpful. And then golden kebabs and non-witches because they are just very, very powerful. Tools, yep, just best tools you can put. Active play, so use opals. As far as keychains go, I'm using drop chance keychains. You can use basic attack speed keychains. I found them to be okay. They will marginally help. However, the attack speed change is low enough that I think keychains are drop rate keychains are just better efficiency wise, and then just everything else add some drop rate as much as you can. I am using luck rolled stones, and I will be probably putting Dreadlow with luck on it. Probably be stealing my Maestro's armor. As far as drip goes, I don't know if this is the most fashionable. I really do love the board beanie, but I'd like to hear your comments. What you think is the most drip going with this weapon and cape combo? Because Dreadlow looks good, but that just seems boring in my opinion. Anyway, the as far as everything else concerned, again, it's Steamy Pendant if you have it here. And that is about it as far as gear goes. So let's go ahead and show you what he does. Now, to pay close attention to my level in the bottom left here, it is pretty obscene how quickly this character levels. So you will, obviously results may vary, but the and the reason I'm going to the OJ map is because I believe this is the most efficient map as far as the Divine Knight is concerned. I'm gonna have to do a lot of testing, but this is what I would, at least at the very moment, recommend. Um, but yeah, that is about it. As I said, I'm going to be having a video about the Orb of Remembrance coming tomorrow, either night or in 2 days, 2-day morning, depending. Uh, but overall, I think the class is very strong. Hopefully, I was as concise as possible. Uh, I don't think this obsoletes Bubo by any means, and I don't think Bubo makes this character's existence less good. I think they fill different niches, and I am actually pretty happy with the design overall. The orb is just insanely powerful. The more kills you get on it, you can just see how much more quickly I'm leveling. I mean, it no other character really levels kind of this fast. I mean, Bubo tries, but I honestly think this one beats it. So anyway, hopefully that was helpful. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if I forgot anything or if I didn't touch on anything that you wanted to see, and I will answer. So, hope you all had a good day, and look forward to that next video coming. It will be quite the doozy. If this one, so I wanted this video to be more towards the normal players and slightly into, optimal, efficient end gamers, whatever you want to call them. The next video is going to be quite technical. So, yeah, tune in for that one, and I hope you all have a good day.